you just couldn't do it at
I'm
home?
an essential worker.
Wait a minute.
Ew.
Oh yeah, you'll be essential.
Yeah.
And I did I did my fair share of teaching. So I had that dumb moment where I was like, you know what? I might just do something else. And yeah. And then the rest was history.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about fun stuff.
All right, let's do this right now.
I was gonna say, Bento,
Let's get right into the episode, people, because Tammy, we do the whole intro. And the intro goes like this, even though I have to say, my Manchester United people may be in there. Shout out to Duke Jones on the live stream all the way. It's about to start, and here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go.
Your empire, you should acquire. Get this working slave. Score the penalty.
Score the penalty. Score the penalty. Clutch Charlie. Hey. It's Andy Jarrell Jones here. Slugger Gels. It's a special edition of Americans in Create Soccer. With my great friend. Oh, wait. You just didn't tell me you just learning the title now? Miss Bearcat.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for it.
Oh my goodness. What was that?
Let's get here. No, I just didn't like the name. That's all.
Wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen that is watching, that's going to watch on YouTube later, shout out to my people on Bigo Live all the way. Ms. Bearcat, you mean to tell me after I wanted you on this podcast, as we talked about in the pre-show and whatnot, when Liverpool were about to clinch their Premier League title, and you put it where I could understand if I wanted you on an episode of this series, if the series started in March, and said, oh, do you think Liverpool's going to even get the Premier League title? Do you think they're going to cancel the season? I could understand if you wanted to avoid that trepidation. I could see that pessimism. But now when you were so close.
It's trust issues.
Yes.
After everything in the past that happened, do you expect me to be even at one point? I was telling my friends back then that I'm not going to celebrate till it's at least like the Liverpool are ahead like 30, 40 points. So yeah, that's how
30, 40 points. So you couldn't, because y'all are so pessimistic over there. And
not pessimistic. Oh, it happened in 2 years. Sorry, 3 years. So
wait, what do you mean 3 years? What do you mean 3 years?
2009?
So what?
2014? Last year?
Wait a minute. 2014. Y'all weren't 25 record points ahead. Lord, no, 22 points ahead of Manchester City. Y'all were a lot step with Manchester City when y'all loved Brendan Rodgers. Now you guys just, oh my goodness, you guys just get at poor old Brendan Rodgers when he tried to tell y'all that Iago Aspas and Joe Allen and Danny Ings were good players. He tried to tell you.
Are you trying to make me cry? Just remind me of things I try to block out, and you keep reminding me of them.
Well, all I can say, Sammy, is that as a person that was a long-suffering Knicks fan all the way, I had to listen to this day to Michael Jordan hearing about he's better than LeBron James, who's a Liverpool owner. We forgot to mention that in pre-call. Adding to LeBron.
Why do people make these stupid comparisons? Why can't they enjoy LeBron and just leave Michael Jordan out of it?
Because it's about the factual record, Tammy. This is why when we have Cristiano fans try to talk about that he's better than Lionel Messi, we have to educate them with the factual record.
Why can't they both be great, though?
They are great.
That's the thing. Like, you can appreciate LeBron. You can say Michael Jordan is one of the greatest athletes ever.
He is, without a doubt. But what we're saying is that, well, for me, I'm always about comparisons. First off, the fact that we're even mentioning people who most of the time don't know who the hell we are or whatnot, majority. If somebody mentioned me and how to say, oh, he's only the third best of all time at his profession, of all the many men or women in the world or whatnot, or anything like that, I'd be like, oh, thank you for mentioning me. I'm one of the all-time greats. Now, I really thank you for doing that. You now make me feel great. So even if you're trying to put me down, I'm still number one in your mind. So bam. So they should never, for me, take offense to that. But some of them are accessible. They're like, no, I'm definitely the best. I'm definitely great or whatnot. So it's like, okay, for people that want to have a rational discussion where mentioning any blemishes is not like a detraction of putting them down, but it's something where it's like assessing who really has the greatest record or greatest resume to call themselves really the GOAT in every sport. For example, I show people that we talk about wonderful women's soccer all the way to. There is no question, no matter how many American agreed suburban players that have grown up and everything like that to be greats overall. There's no question that the greatest women's player of all time is Marta from Brazil. Like, no question. Point blank. End of story. All right? So that's right there. But some Americans be like, oh, she hadn't won a World Cup. Oh, and everything. It's like, well, when you don't have the team in Brazil be half funded at the very least, obviously there's going to be a disadvantage against the country that invented women's soccer. Obviously. All right? Now, we'll get to the whole discussion. Now, I could be like, hey, I love the black player that is Pele. And be like, Pele, all the way or whatever. And that's great and everything. And he certainly is different time era. For Messi all the way, first Maradona, everybody be like, oh, Maradona won a World Cup. And also Maradona was very out of shape, like most of the half the time. You know, Messi, dedicated, in shape, scoring a goal every game. Even having Tammy B hate on Lionel Messi. I couldn't believe. I was like, what? Like, I was supposed to be Ronaldo. You're supposed to be.
What you say about? What you say
When
about
did I
Messi,
ever
Timmy?
hate on him?
Well, you preferred the Dutch to win over Argentina in the 24 World Cup, if I can remember.
Yes, because I like Dutch football. So.
And Wesley
I was
Sneijder.
gonna say that take is not as hot as it is, though, Andrew. It's not as hot as the take. Like,
Thank
the
you.
Dutch also have a pretty good team, so it wasn't as hot as the take as it was. Which is kind of like a segue into the matchup tomorrow.
Well, that is an amazing segue because that's what we're here for, even though people are already entertained by the brilliance overall and also the photogenicness of all three of us as well. So I'm just going to say that overall. I'm going to say that. So we're going to get right into this overall. By the way, there isn't any, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. There's no prominent Dutch player in this final, although last year that wasn't the case. Virgil van Dijk love was all the way, you know.
Gini Wijnaldum.
Gigi Wijnaldum, definitely, you know.
Yep.
So it was certainly not a problem last year in the all UEFA finals overall of the Premier League. Only for La Liga fans to be like, oh, that's a blip, and now to be like, oh, Sevilla's won the Europa League. They won the second place tournament for the 6th time. La Liga is strong.
No.
La Liga is still better. Look at all
I'm glad you called it the second place tournament.
No. I call it like, I think one of ex Bayern players said something about like the draw when he was just like doing the Europa League draw. So he said like, I don't know if he was just quoting someone or he just like made it up, but he said it's the cup of losers.
Yes, he did.
So
yes,
it
he
is.
did.
Well, it is. So yeah, and he
so,
got backlash for it. So, but
Jamie
I do agree with the description. So it is a cup of losers.
Oh, so Jamie Carragher is gonna be upset with you, Tammy B, because for those who are watching this the first time overall, see Tammy here for the first time. Tamara is definitely a proud Liverpool fan since she came out the womb. So, you know, like, it's been in her blood all the way up, down,
Yes.
up a wonderful town, even though the rest of her family is predominantly not Liverpool fans. In fact, they were Everton fans, Sammy?
No.
The Thomas Gravison.
We have a very diverse family. So within my family, it's just I'm the only Liverpool fan.
Ooh,
but
girl.
I'm with my uncle. My parents do not watch football much, but my siblings. So we have a Man U fan, we have a Chelsea fan, and we have an Arsenal fan.
Oh my Lord! Can you imagine that, James? That's a fun. That's a fun thing, you know, because like families here, like if you're in the city already, it's hard for people to be different than most of the family to be all separate for different teams. That's like, oh my goodness, I could. Especially with how you trash talk on Twitter wonderfully. Miss Bearcat all the way. Like I could, you can train your whole life to be able to talk trash, considering those environments overall. You know,
It's not trash talking. It's more like if you see a stupid opinion, then you say it's stupid.
well,
I just have my ways of just like, just like someone was saying today, like I'm trying to remember this. One of the stupidest things I've read. It was just, again, making comparisons between Virgil van Dijk and when they having rumors about Thiago Silva coming to the Premier League.
ooh.
So they were saying, oh yeah, it's definitely like he's going to be better than Virgil van Dijk. Okay, how do you answer that without making
Well, I
a
mean,
joke?
this is Thiago Silva now. I mean, you're making it sound like he was. You're making it sound like he was David Luiz for a second again. Even though I like David Luiz.
David Luiz was kind of good at one point, but
Well,
Thiago Silva, end of his
as a holding
career.
midfielder.
I was gonna say end of his career. It depends on where he ends up.
Not
I
as a
think-
center back. As a holding
Okay,
midfielder.
if he's gonna end up, okay, let's just see, James. If he's gonna end up in Chelsea,
Oh,
what are you
geez.
gonna say?
If he ends up at Chelsea, he's not going to have the same effect that Virgil had. Virgil kind of is the linchpin, and he's more responsible. Virgil allows Liverpool to kind of just, he is the beginning of the onslaught. I was trying to think when I was talking, I watched the Bayern Munich game. I watched the game against Lyon the semifinal the other night, because I watched it late because it was on while I was working, and I did not want to try to have the Spanish translation going while I was trying to concentrate on work at the same time. So when I was watching like how Boateng anchored Bayern, like similar, Andrew made a good point when we were texting about it. And what got me mad was they put Kimmich to play right back, and Leon made the adjustment to keep flooding the wings because Davies kept coming forward. And he kept he's like, all right, cool, I get to go forward because we got three back. And then Leon just kept flooding because that's what they could do. The issue was, again, like Andrew and I were alluding to during our text, is Leon doesn't have a midfield. So eventually it just kind of gave way to what was going to happen. And as soon as Bayern got there first, so I was thinking about like the way they can shift the field in that way. And I think that's what makes it Virgil and Alisson combination are so central, and the trust that that team has, that when Liverpool's like, all right, we want to go forward, we know they have our back, right? Like, and it's this air of confidence. I think the confidence that he allows, I don't know if, don't get me wrong, I love me some Thiago Silva. Love me some Thiago.
Well, he's going to show it tomorrow, because this is what we said, and
you were waiting for your opening.
Well, I had to, because I had to make sure the great viewers here could get this whole thing overall, because this is something where I said at the beginning of the season, Tammy's gonna laugh this all the way, for the Champions League this year in normal times, and we may never be in those normal times again like that. I had mentioned.
Don't say that.
I was gonna say,
if vaccines might be achieved at one point.
Well, the fact, Tammy, that I got you here right now on this wonderful Zoom or whatever, and convinced you to do that shows you at normal times that I'm down for all the way. All right.
I'm gonna blush.
Well, there you go. That's a good thing overall. Even though you and James have more in common, considering John Henry is your favorite team's owner. So, of both teams.
No comment.
This globalized world, in a nutshell, people, where we can have two Latin people here from the northeast of the United States talk to this awesome girl from Aleppo, Syria, and she's in London, and they are both Liverpool. Well, James is a Chelsea fan, but he's a Red Sox fan for baseball, and John Henry owning the Red Sox in Liverpool.
Fenway Sports Group representation. That's what you can just call. That's what they are. They're Fenway Sports Group. That's the name of their affiliations.
Well, I think they should be say Fenway and Phil because they're doing it better with Liverpool right now than they're doing it with the Red Sox in terms of running a team.
The reason they're doing better is just simple because they have the best football manager in the world.
Well, but this is the thing. Before we talk
Our
about
manager
that,
got suspended because he cheated.
But it's not okay. All right. Instead of that German manager, we're going to talk about the person who replaced him at Borussia Dortmund, who Gabriel Macati sometimes calls him a Klopp on steroids, or how he used to manage at Borussia Dortmund after he managed at Mainz and followed Klopp there too, I think. Thomas Tuchel, now he's all groomed up. He's not wearing the sweatshirt and the hoodie and whatnot. He's on the side managing where you think he's French from hearing that last name, Thomas Tuchel. And Thomas Tuchel has, I said Manchester City at the beginning of the season, but when the restart was about to happen, first I couldn't believe they were bringing back this whole damn thing. It was something where I said, you know what? Yes, people in France have complained about Macron and them saying, you know what, Leon, you probably shouldn't have the season resume. And you had a lot of people that were so upset, including the Leon Ola, Mr. Alice, who wanted to blow a gasket just because his precious football couldn't give him money and everything. And I said to myself that, you know what, this is really the sensible decision. Nobody in Europe should be having any soccer go down with COVID-19 going down, let alone us over here. I mean, we're not going to get started over here with us. And it's just something where I said basically that they were going to make a decision that in the long run, yes, clubs are not getting money that are at PSG, and that really does hurt them financially. They got to pay players, hopefully they are, and then not have the money and whatever for them. And that's different from here in America, where we're going to always have owners and have the same teams. They're going to get lucky. That's why it's always funny to see them whine about sports, like getting money or whatever here, when they got bailout money automatically. But I'm not going to keep political like that. So it's just something where I just thought in the long run was better for PSG. So before the restart Champions League, I said, you know what, City, it wasn't even before how City, looked against Real Madrid and then against against Leon. But I just said to myself, you know what, I'm a slightly fair PSG over Bayern because Bayern's been outstanding, obviously. But I just feel that this whole stop-start weirdness is going to benefit PSG because they're going into actual season, even though they stopped earlier. And little as it's behold, whatnot. Yes, they play Atalanta. Yes, they play RB Leipzig. They did get a little nervous against Atalanta, but they could have easily folded in the past, like they folded in the past, debacles that PSG had, whether it's the Barcelona debacle, the Manchester United debacle, where they should have lost that tie to Manchester United. And Tammy's like, damn it. And this is why she really can't stand PSG, because that led to United having a moment where now that kind of springboard them to being sort of relevant again now, even though she disagrees.
They're not going to be relevant in the near future. But
that's going to be an amazing discussion when the Premier League season comes down, but we're going to hold up on it. So now,
I'm only stating facts. Come on.
I just feel that, PSG, because both teams are so talented, even though James tried to deny PSG's depth the other day or whatnot, because he said that Bayern has.
They're not as deep as Bayern.
I agree. I agree.
I agree. 2-on-1 then, all the way. These two John Henry ownership loving.
No. This has nothing to do with FSG. But what you think that PSG have the edge? I don't think so. Yeah, they do have, like, if we're going to compare lineups, we're not going to say like a team that cost 500 million, maybe more. I'm not sure. Yeah, so yeah, obviously they have big names. No, obviously they have big names. You cannot just deny the talent in that team, but you cannot compare that to Bayern, because I felt since the restart of the season, Bayern cared more about the Champions League more than the Bundesliga. I mean, because the Bundesliga, they do not have that much competition. And their main competitor
And-
just got knocked out before because of two goalkeeping mistakes. So, and the reigning champions, obviously. So, we're gonna be champions till Sunday. Okay, that's sad.
Wait a minute. You're using the goalkeeping mistakes overall because it was the back because it was Allison available.
No, because he was injured.
He was injured. Yes,
he was injured.
Yeah,
Allison.
It was my former West Ham goalkeeper all the way.
Yes.
That is the services of someone saying
Adrian.
That's right. Mr. Adrian was not dispossessed by Lucas Fabianski at West Ham. I'm not a West Ham fan, people. I cover West Ham. All right, just let people know that. All right, so trust me. I'm just a fan of any Americans not embarrassing themselves over there, and a fan of Lionel Messi all the way. Even though I'm an objective journalist about things, so it was more Firmino missing chances to Atletico, but I keep on saying that. But anyway,
well, forget about chances, but they played really well till the last 10 minutes, and if it was Allison, it would have ended at 2-1.
Well, this is the thing where you're gonna be replaced as champions.
Have you seen the second and third goal? Have you seen Virgil van Dijk's reaction?
Yeah, I mean, I saw obviously. In fact, we could actually show it because it's been months past it. Where
No, please don't show it. Why are you trying to show me my worst nightmare?
I was saying that we were gonna say no because we didn't want to get any copyright before because apparently even footage from 8 years ago, or whatever, gets copyrighted. Gareth Bale's goal.
I was just about to say.
Well,
you gonna trick me?
Well, the reason why I told you this is because I didn't put Creative Commons as a tag. If I didn't put Creative Commons, they would have been all right with it. I just, forgot about the Creative Commons license that allows you to get away with that. But anyway, we don't want to distract from our awesome faces.
Okay, good.
Well, not only that, we don't want to get pulled out. We don't want to get taken down, especially on Tammy's first episode with us. Yanked off of YouTube.
And I'll take it as a sign that I'm not supposed to be on it ever.
You gotta make your first sign special, girl. So anyway.
Okay, it is.
So I just feel that the balance, the reason why I said it is because Bayern should have lost the last game against Leon. If y'all saw the highlights overall, Leon should have been up 2-0. Bayern, I just feel against
Andrew.
This is when a good game. We need to just hear James what James has to say first. So, James, tell us why Bayern won against Leon.
So Andrew, when I was watching, I had my text with Andrew before I started watching the game. So obviously I knew some of the stuff that was going to happen. When I saw the Leon misses, I was like, okay, valid point. Because Andrew was like, they should have lost. But as I keep saying to Andrew, this is what they've been playing for. And if you look through the Bundesliga season, every time Bayern was like, okay, we want to kind of win it, but we don't want to kill ourselves or kill our Champions League chances. So it's like, all right, today we will win 3-2, right? And they were okay. And then they go down early and then magically they come back and win and make it look like nothing happened and everything was easy. So that was kind of the way the game kind of started off in the beginning. And you could see literally when Gnabry scored the first initial goal, it was like, okay, yeah, we're back into this. It's cool again. And we are going to win. When you said that, I think the game would have been interesting. Do I think Lyon would have won? Nah. It would have just been 3-2 or 4-2. But
well, I say this, and yet is Memphis Depay, someone that definitely Tammy had to enjoy and United when he didn't become the next Cristiano or whatnot. It's just something. But I like Memphis Depay because I respect him because he endured Laurie Harvey dashing his heart. So I don't know if you remember that, James, with Laurie Harvey or whatnot. But but he had a clear.
My question with Memphis was always the big signing. But then whenever I saw him play, I was just like, so what is it? Like, when am I going to see the brilliance that comes with the sign?
I mean, hey, you're right. It was supposed to be the World Cup 2014, and then, you know, he just never became the next like.
He's playing well for Lyon. He looks kind of old sometimes with his movement. He looks
maybe because of all the
like he'll show the pace.
cheesy movies, not movies, sorry, because like he makes these kind of cheesy video clips or something. He feels like he's a rapper or whatever. So
It's okay.
have you seen his videos?
He's only 26, James, by the way.
I have not, but I'm not surprised to hear that he has videos.
Oh, you have to watch them. Please go watch them.
At the episode, we will bring up a Memphis Supply video. We're gonna make that happen. So he blew a chance.
No, we ain't.
Yes, Togo Kambe blew a chance. And Dembele blew a chance. And Dembele blew a chance when it was 2-0 Bayern, but Leon still had the opportunities. And this is something where if Leon had scored the first goal, even though Bayern obviously pulled enough attack, Rudy Garcia really has Leon as a really great counter-attacking side. Now, they got lucky against City because City really, Pep Guardiola is the most unlucky man. He's the unluckiest manager. Sorry, Tammy. He's the unluckiest manager. And
so my question to you about that. My question to you about that, was he unlucky or did he come out too confident the same way Bayern came out and didn't have the talent to deal with it?
I really hate how people have targeted and focused on him with that. And the reason why is that, yes, that he had played just 4 in the back instead of just 3 and then 2 outside players. Yeah, he could have did that. But he knows that Leon, how they have nothing to lose and that they're going to play that way of just trying to get you on the counter. So it's like, all right, we'll still have we'll still have Kyle Walker, and we'll still have, I'm trying to think if it wasn't Zinchenko, obviously it wasn't Zinchenko, and it was Cancelo that was the left back. So, or the left wing back. So it was something where, he's thinking, all right.
Was it Cancelo?
I think, let me check again. I'm going to check real quick. But definitely we know Kyle Walker was the right back with his interest in hair and everything, and also partying during quarantine.
Well, he's the one who got toasted before the floodgates opened.
He didn't hustle back at all. And it was Cancelo, as I show people on the lineups here. I think Google, one of the few good things that they're decent about is them having literally the lineups or whatever. But, we don't have to go to the UEFA site. That's no problem. But it's just something where Leon, they were able to benefit from that. So, in Bayern, they were able to benefit from it against Bayern. Now, honestly, they had better chances against Bayern than they get against City because the goal they scored, was off a good tackle, and then Cornet finished great against City, and then the second goal, oh my goodness, was actually a push in the back by Dembele that should have been caught back, and you had to feel for Pep because that was already with that. Then Sterling, which definitely made Tammy and every Liverpool around the globe. My homie Christopher Williams, like who's my people here, like people in Manhattan, Brooklyn all the way. Like he was reveling it with Tammy on my Facebook wall. So it was just a whole bunch of things that he was unlucky with. And Rudy Garcia has to say he was unlucky with, and Hansi Flick, who's been outstanding. And I have to say, maybe Germany has the 3 best managers in the world right now, But he was very fortunate because Bayern they were overconfident. They thought they were just going to pass around Leon or whatever, like Barcelona, and they were getting hit. They were really, really getting hit. They should have been down to 0. And with PSG, no matter if Mbappe is still shaking off his rust and Di Maria is not as good as he was at Real Madrid, but he's still pretty darn good. Add a very motivated Neymar to really get his first Champions League title and to tell people, hey, you put Mo Salah or Sadio Mane as the number 3 player behind Cristiano and or Virgil van Dijk when it goes to the back, behind Messi and behind Cristiano. Like, don't forget me. Like, you dare me say Eden Hazard is better than me? Like, I'm telling you, like, it's just something. And most importantly, PSG is better defensively than Bayern's.
No. No.
Yes, they are.
No.
Yes, especially in the center back position, the key center
Both.
back
Oh,
position.
no.
We're gonna see so many goals in that final. Both have leaky defenses, by the way.
PSG short up shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've short up shop. Leipzig, they held the strongest and Leipzig
No.
is potent. It may not Timo Werner anymore, but Leipzig is still potent enough. And they showed up shop on them.
They're still not. So even if we go to the backwards thinking of like, look at their journey.
Oh, wow.
PSG's journey wasn't as arduous as Bayern's was. So we then can't like.
Wait, you mean to call me Chelsea? Like you're Chelsea without Pulisic, by the way.
But they played two legs.
But
and they were ahead in the first leg 3-1. And that's on my team.
Remember, y'all weren't as good even then as you were at the end of the season. And again, they played against Shaw without Pulisic. So like in both games. So like that was Davies.
Yeah, both games.
I think Davies and look, we say this so wrong where for the first time ever on our continent, we have really three great contenders to be our continent's player of the year. And for three different, literally all three North American countries where Raul Jimenez is the Mexico representative, as you've seen. And, Pulisic is the American representative. And Alphonso Davies, who this is what Freddie Adu, if he had pace, would have been. It's just something.
If he had size, I would say. If he had size and pace.
Yeah, I would say size, but if he had a little bit of pace and just worked hard, sadly, because that's one thing Freddie has to admit, he didn't work hard sometimes. It's just something where we had three players as viable. And, Chelsea, Bayern able to handle Chelsea because Davies was outstanding, but he had to deal with Pulisic. And then they were able to handle in their quarterfinals. Lord, I was drawing a blank on who they had to handle in their quarterfinals right now. Who they had to handle in their quarterfinals? They had to handle Barcelona. Oh my gosh!
Barcelona.
We weren't even joking.
Barcelona.
Stop, people. We weren't even joking. Tammy, are you still here?
Yes, I am, because I'm trying to see if the teams they played.
No, Barcelona. We already answered it. Tammy, I thought
it was Barcelona.
I thought your screen was frozen. We had forgot. No. We were not joking on Barcelona there, especially Lionel Messi. It was just the fact that the 8-2 was so bad.
It was just they lost 8-2.
I enjoyed it actually. It was so fun.
But then, so now, my rebuttal to you is, what would the score have been if Barcelona got to play PSG? What would the score have been?
Oh, probably 5-1. Probably 5-1. Because
5-1?
Yes, James. Because
could have been 3-1.
No, that game's closer than that, Andrew.
No.
3-1.
That's
3-1.
a 3-1, 4-1 game. That game's closer than that.
Y'all are not respecting how legitimate Thomas Tuchel has now understood that I need to be a little bit slightly more pragmatic in terms of making sure I have three people, a person really protecting the center backs, and then he has the right center backs. Where I gotta tell you, after Varane and Ramos, I will put maybe Van Dijk and Gomez up there for you, Sammy, all the way. Now I have to say this past season, honestly, Varane and Ramos decline. Ramos is on his last leg despite all the penalty goals. Varane, well, we saw what happened against Man City for sure. So then I'll put Van Dijk and Gomez up there. Gomez sometimes he's still adjusting towards it, but he's really gotten good at whatnot. But the best center back pairing, and it's not Bayern's because they have Alaba in there, and he's still left back. Even though he's actually great at it. But Boateng.
I was just about to say.
Boateng got replaced by Sula. He was on his way out the club, and they still can get picked apart. Kimpembe and Thiago Silva. They are the best center back pairing, in terms of in Europe. I gotta tell you, and they really.
Are you kidding? Was this a joke?
Do you think Do you think your Brooklyn homie would be kidding?
Yes, about the best center back partnership in Europe.
we're gonna see tomorrow for sure because
Well, yeah, I'm gonna laugh, and they're gonna lose, and yeah.
because Alvaro Ramada was scoring on that best center back pairing. Even though the game was out of hand against Jao, even though Llorente scoring goals from distance was the real thing, but also Firmino missing chances. But it's just something that overall, I just feel that they've gotten so good. I mean, Leipzig barely had a chance the other night in terms of a real chance on goal, and this is
But
Leipzig.
what I think you're overvaluing Leipzig. I think Leipzig has too many games where things like that happens because we've been talking about Leipzig being on the cusp for so long, and every time in their domestic league they got to play one of the big two or the big three. They can't do like they do. This is their thing. That is their jam right there. Their jam is to be like, we are on the cusp, and then for some reason, offensively, that was the one game I couldn't watch because they're always conscious of being defensively and midfield responsible, that it prevents them from going forward because it has to be tenacious movement to get forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't able to see exactly how that game played out, but it wouldn't surprise me because in the Bundesliga, yeah, they had moments where it's just like, okay, this is the game, and they come out against Bayern, and you're like, what? Okay, why are you playing this way? Why are you so conservative? Everybody knows the way to get Bayern is to get them to be on their back foot early in the game, right? You want them chasing so you can then start to create more openings with that back line.
It's
right?
mainly
But
Andrew's
so
just like no, sorry. It's the fact that kind of like Byron's last game when Leon almost kind of like scored. So Andrew's holding that against them. But this is what big teams do. It's when you know that you got exposed in a way. What Leon did was just like put so much. How can I say? They do mark two key players, Muller and Lewandowski. So that is why you thought that they weren't as clinical and as effective as they used to be. But again, after that, they made the right subs. Mm-hmm. They won the game. This is what like you do not expect, especially in a final or like semifinals, for teams to be entertaining, because they're gonna be they're not no. I'm saying like you cannot compare them to games before. They're not gonna be as how can I say
excuses here.
Careless as before. So it's like with semifinals and finals, teams tend to focus on one thing. Oh, like in the semifinals, we need to make it to the final. In the final, we need to win the trophy. So whether it's just you get found out, you get exposed, the opposition knows what you're doing. When you're quick enough and just to find the right fixes, this is when you win trophies. So that's why I'm telling you, like Bayern got the edge over this. This doesn't mean like, okay, PSG don't have a chance. They do. They're in the final, so obviously they do. But if we're gonna just like talk who has the edge over the other, then Bayern got the edge.
Well, first off, let me see the betting on this match and whatnot in terms of the. Not that we need to gamble about this, we won't overall. But
but it tells you something. The Sharks.
Yeah, definitely. What most people are
thinking. If they listen to
just like last season's final when everyone said Liverpool would win.
Mm-hmm. Now I don't want to.
It's all about your cut.
It has to be.
I don't want. Well, wait. Liverpool were the favorite in the final, though. Well, you talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. We need to see who people are like predicting to win.
Who people are sliding with. Andrew, I was going to bring up the point about Raheem Sterling. Didn't you think it was hysterical that you and I, for weeks, have been talking about how we are nervous about Raheem Sterling's ability not to be able to finish sometimes?
Always.
Coming back to haunt.
Always.
I almost texted you when I saw this, and I was like, oh. Raheem Sterling doing Raheem Sterling-like things.
Yeah, the minute is especially for Tammy, it feels so good.
It was fun.
In an objective way, even though Raheem, amazing thing that deals with all craziness, racism, all that. Yeah, he left Liverpool was something that easily Yeah, well, the only thing that would have been worse is if he would have went to the red half of Manchester instead of like blue half, because he really was just like Liverpool's now.
I wouldn't put it past him, by the way. I wouldn't have because he's that. What's the nice word for?
Is he good for you? Is he good for you? Does he like retribution? You're saying? Yeah, you like?
I'm saying like he's that ungrateful in that sense. So
he's not loyal. You saying he's not? He's an infant.
No, it's not about leaving. Like I understand why he left. So if I were him, I would have left if Brendan Rodgers was the manager of my team and I got an offer from another team.
Oh, you justify him. See? Oh my!
No. It's fine with him to leave because we had other players who left. But what he did after he left and the way he disrespected the team, he started saying like in interviews, this is what I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you face racism everywhere. So he said he didn't specify it first.
Yeah,
so it made it sound as if people in the Liverpool team were racist against him. Mm-hmm. And if you could see Liverpool always had people of color playing for them. So I'm not gonna go into the infamous incident because you know what I think about it. Anyways, put it behind us. We're talking in general. So he said, "Oh yeah, when I moved to like up north and when I was playing Liverpool, like I faced racism." Then he said, like after that, he said like it's not in the club, but it was just like people or something. It wasn't nice. So it was being given as if people there were being racist to him. So he should have just like been more specific. So just like to throw racism like that, and just to give the idea of like the team was like or like the management, the staff or something. So this is what people were speculating. I think this happened 4 years ago. I'm not sure. And then the way he was just like talking when he said last season when he didn't want Liverpool to win the league and nobody wants Liverpool to win the league, that was disrespectful.
Real quick. So you're saying Serge Gnabry is way better than Raheem Sterling. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
That's what you're saying right there. Oh my God.
Well, he would have finished. Serge would have finished that put away. We know that.
He certainly would have overall. And it's crazy how Serge Gnabry has really now honestly become almost a top 7 player now. Or at least top. Well, I mean, literally, you gotta say he's now in that after Messi. And honestly, I'm telling people now, Cristiano, he just scored a lot of penalties this season. So James tried to take this a discussion. James thinks he's honorary Portuguese because of just
I don't think of honorary Portuguese. You make the man sound like he fell off a cliff. He's still putting up goals. That's the thing.
James, man, he's putting up mostly penalties. Like he kind of a little bit for how astronomically great he was. Well, he still is, but I'll get to that.
I was just gonna say, Andrew, the strike in the Champions League.
Wait a minute. First off, Anthony Lopez should have saved that. Number 2, Anthony Lopez.
The strike.
Anthony Lopez is not in the final overall. It's Manuel Neuer. And it is, well, maybe Keylor Navas or Sergio Rico. We shall see who's in the final for PSG. But both of them are quality keepers. People forgot Sergio Rico is at PSG as a backup. And Sergio Rico's on way better form than David De Gea and Kepa.
Listen, you don't got to bring up Kepa. We already know what's going down with Kepa. Kepa's gone. I'm not worried about Kepa. Kepa was gone whole 2 months ago. Kepa is gone. I'm not worried about Kepa. Okay.
Oh, please! I wanted to say he's nice.
Kepa?
He's really
good.
He needs to stay.
He gives you guys all of the goals.
That's why I don't want him to go. I mean,
score at will.
Nice.
We can't have that. My biggest concern is not even Kepa. We need to find a center back in this center back market for the little 2 weeks that we have before transfer window season is going to be super hot. I already heard that, what's the young man's name who plays in the Bundesliga? Not in the Bundesliga. Diabali? I can't remember. I'm going to butcher the poor name.
Koulibaly?
Koulibaly. I've heard the demands for him are like outrageous and already trying to be met.
Koulibaly for Napoli?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean.
City are after him, by the way.
Who's after him?
City.
Oh yeah, I heard. I've heard the number, and I watched him the other day.
They were like I'm telling you, Sammy, Nathan Ake already puts them in title contender because Laporte's going to get his act together, and John Stones is a good third option, even though
Oh no, it's not.
Guardiola spells him.
I agree with Timmy on that. I don't trust John Stones.
You know, the third option though, not as a starter. But I told him, but we'll get into that and convincing both of y'all that Manchester United may be better than both of y'all teams, especially if they do get both. Either they don't get Sancho, they get Dembele and Gareth.
Wait. You saying did you just say Manchester United may be better than Liverpool? I for a moment I forgot. I was like, wait, Timmy's a fan of Liverpool.
I want him to finish so I could. Okay. Carry on.
Go ahead, Andrew. I'll let
Go ahead. I'm taking notes.
I'll be over here minding my business.
We will have this whole discussion overall. If United even if they get Sancho or if they get Dembele and Gareth Bale, which to me would be a more financially sensible move, I feel that they for sure, because they already, to me, this is why Liverpool has to think about saying, hey, Harry Kane, hey, Cheryl Mobley, hey, Mary Kane, I think they literally need to think about this because
they're going to find players, but again, let's go back to your funny suggestion.
People are going to be like, all these damn Americans, and then this girl talking about Premier League or something. So people tired of Premier League. Let's focus back on this Champions League final. The midfield.
Wait, why you cut off on her point? Why did you let her finish
because he
her
knows
point?
I'm gonna say stuff that he doesn't like. So yeah.
I'm always here for that, Mr. Arquette, all the way.
Okay. So everything you said, not gonna happen. First of all. Second of all, just like not to look at who's managing United and look who's managing Liverpool, and just like another point, just like to hold on.
She got
who won titles more? First of all, look at how much the starting 11 of Liverpool cost compared to the starting 11 of Man U. It's not about bringing names because you cannot just say, even if you bring the best player in the world right now and put him in any team. Yes, definitely. I'm not dismissing the fact that if you put Messi in any team, it would improve 100%.
City, as I told you.
But no, he's not going.
Told you.
He's not going to go there, and I'm going to laugh. And when this happens, it's about if you bring a name and you know if it's going to fit the system you're playing in. So even if they get the big names, even if they get Sancho, even if they get other players, if you don't get the name that will fit in your team, then it's bullshit. Sorry.
Well,
it's gonna be a waste of money, and they have a history of that. They bought so many names and they didn't fit in their team with different managers because you cannot just rely on that. And to go back to the Champions League, Bayern's starting 11 cost as much as Maguire. So,
have you told Timmy your Firmino take yet? Have you told?
Yeah, that's why our friendship is gonna be over.
Have you told Timmy?
So many times he's not a striker, and he keeps telling me, yes, his finishing needs to be improved. Yes, he's.
Did you tell Tammy what I said about your Firmino take?
He said the same thing you said, Tammy, and I know that because people.
Hold on. I need to make a sweeping declaration here. We're no longer friends. I'm best friends with James. Sorry. Andrew, you're out.
See, James, I'll give you one now. See, now she's your lady now. And
I mean, you cannot watch football and just have that take about Firmino. Sorry.
Well, I think that is completely describing him accurately as someone who was
go back to his 2017 form and see where, like, if you go there. No, hold on. If you go there and just see how his form was. And you see the problem where, like, he had the best form when Coutinho was in midfield. Liverpool lacking a creative midfielder. I'm not saying like the midfield. We have the Premier League winning and Champions League winning midfield is obviously more than good, but you do not have creativity in midfield. We're relying on our fullbacks for assets.
A
So,
weekend athletical team, by the way, weekend athletical team.
huh?
A weekend.
No,
Mm-hmm.
no, but let's like carry on. That's the thing. Like you confuse and you think that you compare him to strikers. He's not a striker. He's not a finisher.
No. This is what
he could be. His best position would be in my false nine or attacking midfielder.
Well, that's Tammy. That's what he's Tammy. This is what I'm trying to tell both of you smart, amazing, funny people overall.
But again, you just tell me he misses chances. He doesn't finish well.
Because I have to remind sometimes that Roberto Firmino's career didn't start just at Liverpool. In fact, his European career didn't just start at
Hoffenheim. I know. In Germany, he had the same issues.
Here. Because like he was a great playmaking lead forward that would drop in the midfield like he does with Liverpool and everything. But then it was something where they paid him, and this is the money that they paid Roberto Firmino, who, by the way, never was a set starter for Brazil. It always was some forward that would be better than whether Hulk, whether Gabriel Jesus now. You know, whether at the time, well, this is when Adriano had been gone, he got that wasted his talent. But there were so many others and whatnot. Even Joe, that used to be with Man City, used to be trash. Now, this is the thing to understand all right?
Joe could kick really hard, though.
He did, but him and Wagner Love, the great Wagner Love, so many great Brazilian talents that wasted their time because they were loving too many people off the field, if you know what I mean. Yeah, see, now this is okay? Now, everyone knew he was really a playmaker. He was really a number 10. The problem is that Firmino, you have to decide when he went to Liverpool for the first time, all right? But 29.
Brendan Rodgers thought he was a striker.
It wasn't cheap. Now, Brendan did that, but this is the thing, though. Firmino at the time, so it's 5 years ago. So Firmino's still young, 23. I mean, he went on to Hoffenheim when he was like 19. Damn. Mm-hmm. After shutting it down for Fluminense, all right? Doing this thing in the Brasileirão, the best league outside of the UEFA Big Five. Brazil's that great. See, Tam and Son, you got to see some of South America.
I was going to say, some Argentinian football league members would like to have a word with you.
Well,
it's starting to go down.
They need to get a proper name and brand themselves where they have Chevrolet being a league sponsor and whatnot. It's crazy, all right? I mean, Chevrolet probably be like, Bolsonaro, this is how we run the country. Okay? Now, this is what's key now. This was key. They bought him for 29 million pounds, I think. Not even euro, pounds. All right? And if you are for a big club, this is why I give him the Kareem Benzema and even Harry Kane as well. Will they make sure they play?
Harry Kane wouldn't fit. James did. Okay, here's a quick question. Do you think Harry Kane would fit in a club team?
We've had this discussion. Tammy, you literally took everything that I've said to Andrew verbatim before. Okay? The synergy of the three. So the problem is you keep taking away Firmino solely, right? But you need to look at them as a package deal. The synergy of the three gives you almost 60 plus goals per season, if not more. Okay? The synergy of the three.
Lady and gentlemen, it would be maybe 75, 80.
Here we go.
If you had a guy like, say, Benzema, even though Benzema and Kane, they may not be as mobile. Not that Firmino's that fast himself now. They may not be able to press, but they still are the type where they're not the selfish line leading forward. That's like, all right.
Are you saying Firmino's selfish?
Like how?
Are you saying Firmino's selfish?
No, what I'm saying is that Firmino sadly gets shy in front of goal. In fact, if Firmino was a shy,
because it's not his position. He's not a finisher. He's not a center forward.
There you go. That's it.
Don't solve that. There's no excuse. If you have a clear chance, it doesn't mean like I'm gonna pass. Hold on.
I'm not saying like his finishing. He's gonna improve his finishing at one.
Well, I don't know about that, Tammy.
It's gonna improve, but he thinks because he's so selfless, he doesn't care sometimes. So many chances he creates that he could have scored, but he passes the ball to Salah or to Mane. So
yep.
This is a problem.
Even Klopp said he wanted him. Like he said when I watched him when I was in the Bundesliga and I watched him, I wanted him.
Sure, you watched.
He gave him the highest praise. Like I trust
all the way like that, but hopping.
I'm talking about the best manager in the world right now. So when the best manager in the world before even winning titles, he gave him. Go and see what Klopp said about him when he gives a player this kind of praise. When you have legends telling you, okay, you saw what Thierry Henry said about him.
Because Thierry Henry knows he's a lesser player than him. That's why he respects him. He honestly brings seen.
No, he said because he knows. Okay, you know how great Thierry Henry is, and he understands the game. I'm not saying like as a football manager, but as a player. So as a player, he knows. So when you see so many, even Pochettino before he left Spurs, he said they asked him if who like 3 players he could pick. Bobby Firmino was among the 3. So when you see so many people giving him this like big names in this sport, giving him praise, and they know what he's capable of, then you know his role. He's not a striker. I have to say that like more than I say my name sometimes. He's not a striker. He's not a finisher. Yes, his finishing needs to be improved. I'm not denying that, but I've seen how Liverpool play without him. His form this season isn't as great as, let's just say, in 2017.
Barely scored.
I'm not denying that, but again, you say if you put any other player, it wouldn't fit.
I gotta tell you.
Yes, Liverpool need a finisher. Yes, because we need competition in the team. But I don't think any player can place him in the team.
Well, I'm telling you, if you don't get a forward, and by the way, this means that Bayern Firmino is the man of the match on Sunday in the Champions League final. Val, we talked about him more than both Robert Lewandowski and Kylian Mbappe. I can't believe this. See, Robert Lewandowski, if you had Robert Lewandowski, oh my goodness, Sammy, you'll be winning 4 or 5 straight Champions Leagues and everything and whatnot. That's the thing.
Who made him relevant?
But even
who made him a good player?
But that's the thing, though. But that's the key, though, Sammy. The thing is that he was finishing and being among the top goal scorers, and now a Ballon d'Or candidate is Robert Lewandowski. He is everything that Firmino. He's Firmino, but with finishing. Benzema, Firmino,
because he's a striker.
You know, no.
But that's the dynamic that I keep trying to tell. If you put one of them in, what is that going to do to Salah? Like, that's what I think about, right? It's not going to be perfect.